Okay, so get this. Today we're going deep, like deep into a 90s classic.
Oh, I love the 90s. Which song?
The Sign, you know, Ace of Base.
Oh, yeah. I know every word. Catchy tune.
Eh,
Bit deep, really.
Trust me, we're about to uncover a whole world of meaning hidden in those lyrics. Personal transformation, the search for understanding even, belonging.
Wow. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It all starts right from the first line. New life. Just like that. Bam.
Yeah.
What do you think prompted this sudden shift?
Well, I mean, the song is called The Sign.
Good point.
Throughout history, signs have always been seen as like these catalysts for change, right? Literature, mythologies, even personal experience. Sometimes it's like a huge epiphany. Sometimes it's more like a gradual thing. But that sign, whatever it is, can totally shake things up and put you on a totally different path.
So we're not talking about literally seeing a sign,
Yeah.
right? More like an awakening.
Exactly, a metaphorical sign. And the
Yeah.
lyrics totally back that up. It opened up my eyes, right? But here's the thing. This new life seems to be happening alongside a relationship that's totally falling apart.
Ah, good catch. Why do I bother when you're not the one for me? And then the repeating line is enough, enough. Classic unrequited love right there.
For sure. And it speaks to something so universal, having the courage to let go even when it's hard, a relationship, a job, even just an old way of thinking, recognizing when something's run its course. It's gotta hurt, but that's where real growth happens.
Okay, but there's this one line that really got me thinking. Life is demanding without understanding. How does that fit into all of this?
I think that line is the heart of the song, because without understanding, life can feel overwhelming, right? Understanding ourselves, our relationships, even just understanding where we fit in the world. And that's what Seeing the Sign is all about, that search for meaning. It's about connecting the dots, becoming more aware, finding ways to navigate all of life's craziness with a little more clarity.
You keep mentioning signs. What about that question, but where do you belong? It comes up again and again.
What's interesting is we never get a straight answer. And I think that ambiguity actually reflects something really universal. We all search for belonging. Is our place out there somewhere waiting for us? Or do we have to create it? Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Wait a minute. Does this remind you of anything? I'm thinking the hero's journey. Could the sign be like that call to adventure, like Joseph Campbell talks about?
Oh, that's brilliant. Campbell talks about the hero getting a call to leave their ordinary world, right? To go on this quest. And that call is often symbolized by, well, a sign or a message or even just a sudden realization. And here in the sign, the speaker is definitely being called to step into something new.
But if that's true, isn't the speaker kind of ignoring the tough parts of change? I mean, they sound pretty lost.
That's true. And that brings us to this idea of liminal space. It's that awkward in-between place. You've left the old behind, but you haven't quite found your footing in the new. And I think that's where our speaker is stuck, grappling with all that uncertainty and fear. It's what makes their journey so relatable.
And this whole journey is playing out under a pale moon and stars. There has to be some deeper meaning there, right?
Absolutely. The moon is often a symbol of cycles and change, while the stars, well, they represent vastness, possibility. It's almost like the speaker is searching for their place, not just in their own life, but in the entire universe.
But even with the clarity that comes from seeing the sign, the speaker still asks, is enough enough? What's the message there?
It's a reminder about self-respect and boundaries. The speaker is realizing that sometimes you just have to say enough is enough. You have to walk away from situations or relationships that are no longer good for you. It takes real strength to recognize that. When something can become too demanding, you got to choose yourself.
Whoa, hold on. Isn't there like a touch of existentialism here too? Life is demanding without understanding. Doesn't that sound like an existential crisis?
Oh, totally. Existentialism is all about searching for meaning in a world that often feels kind of absurd and chaotic. And our speaker in the sign is totally wrestling with those big questions, right? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Where do I belong? And it's through that struggle for understanding that they start to create their own meaning.
Wow. So this isn't just some breakup song. It's about transformation, letting go, finding where you belong, even a little existentialism thrown in for good measure. All in this one catchy 90s pop song.
That's the power of music, right? It can reach us on such a deep level, even when we least expect it.
No kidding. So here's something to think about. What if you encountered a sign in your own life? Would you recognize it? And more importantly, would you have the courage to embrace whatever changes it might bring, even if it means letting go of something familiar? The next time you hear the sign, Give it a real listen. You might be surprised by the wisdom hiding in plain sight.